You ever step into a place that looks all shiny on the outside, but the moment you walk in, you just know deep down, you're not welcome? That's what hit me every time I pushed through those big glass doors at Asterfield Mutual. Fancy floors, slick counters, the smell of lemon polish in the air, and somehow, it still felt like I'd tracked mud onto someone's perfect white carpet. I showed up sharp, business account papers in hand, head held high, but you could see it in their eyes. No matter what I did, I wasn't what they expected. First time, I go to window 3, hand over my withdrawal slip for 48 grand. My own money, mind you, and Gary the teller, he doesn't even look at me before he slaps my hand away. Just like that. Like I'm nothing but trouble. Then he wipes the counter where I touched it, slow and deliberate, like I'd left a stain. Not a single soul says a word. Tracy at the next counter grabs the big can of air freshener, sprays it right at me, like my presence needed to be erased. Someone in line snickers, the rest just watch, silent. Like this happens every day and they'd rather not get involved. I stood there, breathing deep, trying not to let it show. You get used to swallowing your pride, to knowing the rules change for folks like me. You know what I mean? Gary grabs some gloves, picks up my slip with his fingertips and says, loud enough for everyone to hear, "We'll need a manager for this one." That's when Mrs. Bellamy, hair all tight and businesslike, steps over with that rehearsed, "We value your business" smile. She asks me to wait by the wall while they review, and that's code for make yourself small and don't cause trouble. Meanwhile, security's giving me the stink eye, arms crossed, thumb on the radio like I might lose my mind at any second. And right then, this white guy in paint-stained jeans looked like he'd just rolled out from under a truck, steps up, asks for 70,000, no ID, no fuss. Gary's cracking jokes, slapping the counter, has him in and out in 2 minutes flat. I'm still waiting. Invisible. After 20 minutes, Mrs. Bellamy comes back. Says my transaction's been flagged for review, nothing personal. But she doesn't look sorry. Not for a second. She hands me a slip like she's tossing out yesterday's news. I take it and walk, not because I'm okay with it, but because I've learned. Sometimes the best revenge is remembering every detail. Next day I come back dressed to the nines, sharper than before. Before I even hit the counter, Tim the security guard's got a box of plastic gloves out. "For your safety, sir," he says, but his face tells the real story. I put them on, each crinkle loud in the silence, while Gary smirks behind his glass. Mrs. Bellamy's right there, asks me to take 3 steps back from the counter, for staff comfort. I count 'em out, smiling inside. The next guy up gets a handshake and a ceramic mug of coffee. Me. I'm drinking from a paper cup, gloves on, waiting 37 minutes to be served. When I finally get called up, Gary pushes a digital pad toward me. "Use your gloved finger, please." It doesn't work, so he slides a stylus over with a tissue like I'm contagious. Mrs. Bellamy returns, wants documents, extra proof, even my partner's signature from overseas, paperwork they never asked for before. Tracy's talking loud about suspicious login patterns on my account, making sure everyone hears. I watch old folks wander up, hand over torn checks, get smiles, get called by name. Me, I'm getting treated like a case file. There were moments I wanted to snap, call them out, demand someone act human for once. But I just stood there, taking it all in, logging every word, every smirk. Posters in the lobby start showing up, pictures of wealthy couples with the line, "Success looks the part." New policy signs at the door. We reserve the right to refuse service to those misaligned with brand standards. Even the check-in kiosk starts printing DM Mud instead of my real name. I just folded up the receipt and kept moving. Sometimes you've got to let them hang themselves with their own rope, you know? But they kept pushing. One day they hand me a full disposable kit. Gloves, mask, even a plastic gown. Say, I can't approach the counter without it. Tracy makes a show of scrubbing the stylus before I touch it. Gary's narrating every step, initiating fun path trace, verifying source identity, like I couldn't possibly understand. And then, Mrs. Bellamy hands me a customer satisfaction form with questions about special treatment for non-conforming clients. I give her a look, fold it up, and say, "Thanks for your attention to detail." She still doesn't get it. But see, there was one thing none of them knew. Years back, I was one of the techs who built their security system. When they overhauled the whole bank, I wrote the encryption code. Part of the deal? A silent equity clause. A backdoor right to monitor for ethical compliance. If the place ever got rotten enough, I had the keys to the vault. I kept all the receipts, every violation, every special protocol logged and archived. So one morning, when they least expected it, every terminal in that bank went dark. Admins locked out. Data rolled back. And the federal board got a copy of every act of misconduct, time-stamped, signed, undeniable. Mrs. Bellamy found a black envelope on her desk, listing every wrong they'd done. Names, dates, everything. The CEO called an emergency meeting. First time my name was spoken out loud, they realized I was more than a client. I was the one who designed the whole vault. And that old silent equity clause? It made me the new majority owner. Everything changed overnight. Gary lost his job, couldn't get hired anywhere in finance again. Tracy, too. Mrs. Bellamy got sent to a leadership rehab, had to face every harmless policy she'd ever enforced. The bank rewrote their rules, new faces behind the counters, new plaque that says, "Justice doesn't punish, it corrects." I never even had to go back. My name was in every new training session, every cup replaced, every eye opened. Funny thing, Gary ended up serving food at a community center, forced to write daily journals on the people he once looked down on. Mrs. Bellamy started talking to teens about bias, her own bias. Tracy learned to give kindness, not just take it. Me? I got what I needed, accountability, not revenge, because sometimes the quiet ones in the room are the ones you ought to watch. So let me ask you, was that justice? Did I let them off easy, or should I have fought harder? What would you have done if you were in my shoes? Drop your story in the comments. Let's talk about it. You never know who else is listening or who's ready for their own turn to flip the script.